They didn't ban the art of war, they did something worse. They turned history's most lethal warfare manual into motivational quotes for office walls. While you read about knowing your enemy, the real predators use forbidden laws that never made it into corporate books. They don't burn dangerous books anymore. Too obvious. Instead, they sanitize them. Take texts that could topple governments and transform them into desk calendar wisdom. They bury the lethal parts under mountains of academic interpretation until the original poison becomes self-help medicine. For 2,000 years, the most powerful military text ever written has been deliberately mistranslated, misinterpreted, and misunderstood. Not by accident, by design. The versions you find on Amazon, taught in MBAs, turned into LinkedIn memes, are castrated versions of something far more dangerous. But here's what they don't tell you in business strategy classes. There are 4 laws in the art of war. So strategically brutal, they were deliberately omitted from popular translations. These are the laws Mao Zedong studied in untranslated versions. Laws the Pentagon analyzes in classified departments. Laws every tech billionaire knows by heart. While you learn about winning hearts and minds, they use principles that make hearts and minds irrelevant. While you study, know yourself, know your enemy. They've mastered something far more sinister, making you know yourself wrong and never identify who your real enemy is. Today, we reveal the suppressed text. These are the 4 forbidden laws that let you win wars. Your enemies don't know they're fighting. The first law will destroy everything you think about competition. The first law of strategic domination. Every amateur thinks victory means defeating opponents. Sun Tzu knew true victory means making your opponents defeat inevitable before they realize conflict exists. Most people approach competition by identifying rivals and trying to outperform them on their own terms. They enter games their opponents created, using rules their opponents mastered, fighting for prizes their opponents defined. The master does the opposite. When everyone competes for market share, he makes the market irrelevant. When everyone fights for resources, he creates new resources. When everyone plays a game, he starts a different game, where his advantages become decisive. Watch how Netflix destroyed Blockbuster. In 2007, Blockbuster had 9,000 stores and dominated video rental. They had prime real estate, relationships with every studio, decades of operational expertise. Any competitor trying to beat Blockbuster would need superior locations, better inventory, faster service. Reed Hastings didn't try to be better at video rental. He made video rental obsolete. While Blockbuster optimized store operations and late fees, Netflix built mail delivery and streaming infrastructure. When Blockbuster finally launched their own streaming service, Netflix had already cornered content licensing and recommendation algorithms. The brutal psychology. Blockbuster wasn't defeated by superior video rental. They were defeated by someone who eliminated the need for video rental stores entirely. Their strengths became irrelevant in a world where physical locations didn't matter. Here's another example. How Uber destroyed taxi monopolies. Traditional taxis controlled the game through medallion systems, regulated pricing, and exclusive airport contracts. Any competitor would need to navigate the same regulatory framework. Buy expensive medallions, compete on service quality within existing rules. Travis Kalanick didn't try to build better taxis. He made taxis obsolete by redefining transportation as ride-sharing instead of taxi service. While taxi companies lobbied for protection within existing regulations, Uber built technology that made regulations irrelevant, peer-to-peer networks, surge pricing, cashless transactions. By the time city governments realized what happened, millions of drivers and passengers were already using Uber. The regulatory system designed to protect taxis couldn't adapt fast enough to stop a technology platform that technically wasn't a taxi company. Here's the forbidden tactic. Control the measurement standards. If you define how success is measured, you've already won. When everyone measures success by revenue, focus on lifetime value. When everyone competes for market share, measure customer satisfaction. When everyone optimizes for growth, build sustainable competitive advantages. For the next 30 days, identify what game you're competing in. Then ask, what different game could I start where my natural advantages become decisive? Stop trying to win games others created. Start games where victory is inevitable. This law separates amateur strategists from lethal masters. Amateurs try to overcome opponent force with greater force. Masters transform opponent force into the weapon that destroys them. Most people see opposition as obstacles to be removed. Sun Tzu saw opposition as energy to redirect. When someone pushes, you don't push back, you pull in the direction they're already going until they fall. Watch how McDonald's turned health criticism into competitive advantage. In the 2000s, when obesity lawsuits and supersized me attacked fast food, every chain went defensive. Burger King, KFC, Taco Bell, all tried to prove their food wasn't unhealthy through marketing campaigns and menu disclaimers. McDonald's did the opposite. They amplified the health criticism by introducing salads, apple slices, and milk as Happy Meal options. Instead of defending their burgers, they thanked critics for helping them serve families better. They used attacks on unhealthy food to justify expanding into breakfast, coffee, and healthy options. The psychological brilliance. McDonald's transformed criticism about narrow unhealthy menu into justification for becoming an all-day dining destination. Health advocates accidentally helped McDonald's expand beyond burgers into every meal category. Their strength, moral authority about health, became McDonald's weapon for market expansion. Here's another example. How Disney turned piracy into profit. In the 1980s, video piracy was destroying movie profits. Studios fought pirates through lawsuits, technical copy protection, and lobbying for stronger intellectual property laws. The more they fought, the more sophisticated piracy became. Disney took a different approach. Instead of fighting pirates, they studied what pirates wanted: convenient access to content, reasonable prices, and extensive libraries. Disney used piracy insights to create the home video market, then streaming services, then Disney Plus. Every feature pirates wanted instant access. Digital libraries, binge-watching became monetized features. Pirates accidentally taught Disney how to build the subscription economy that now generates billions annually. The forbidden principle. Identify your opponent's primary strength. Create situations where that strength becomes liability. If your competitor's advantage is size, create markets rewarding agility over scale. If their strength is tradition, emphasize innovation over experience. If they dominate through price, compete on value propositions where price becomes irrelevant. For the next 30 days, analyze your main competitor's greatest strength. Ask, how could I create context where that strength becomes burden? Don't attack their strength directly, make it irrelevant, or transform it into weakness. If that law shifted how you see competition, subscribe now. The third law reveals how to become completely invisible to attacks. While positioning for inevitable victory, most people aren't ready for this level of strategic invisibility. While others taught speed and overwhelming force, Sun Tzu taught something far more terrifying: how to win without enemies realizing they've lost until it's irreversibly too late. Most people think stealth means hiding. Sun Tzu understood true invisibility means operating in plain sight, but on timescales your opponents can't perceive. You're not hiding moves, you're moving in dimensions your enemies don't monitor. Watch how Amazon Web Services conquered cloud computing. In 2002, Amazon was just an online bookstore expanding into general retail, while traditional tech companies like IBM, Oracle, and Microsoft focused on competing for existing enterprise software contracts. Amazon quietly built internal infrastructure for their own operations. Amazon needed servers, storage, and databases for their retail business. Instead of keeping this infrastructure private, they decided to rent excess capacity to other companies. While enterprise software giants fought over million-dollar contracts, Amazon sold cloud services for pennies per hour to startups nobody else wanted. By the time IBM and Oracle realized cloud computing was massive, Amazon already had years of technical advantages and customer relationships. Bezos achieved invisible conquest by solving internal operational problems in ways that created external business opportunities. While competitors focused on retail competition, Amazon built infrastructure that generated billions from completely different industries. Here's another example: how Facebook conquered social media through college exclusivity. In 2004, when Friendster and MySpace dominated social networking, any competitor would naturally try to build bigger, more open networks with better features for everyone. Mark Zuckerberg did the opposite. He made Facebook exclusive to college students, then gradually expanded to high schools, then workplaces, then everyone. While MySpace tried to serve every demographic simultaneously, Facebook built network effects through scarcity and exclusivity. The invisible brilliance. Facebook used artificial scarcity to create desire while building user habits and data collection systems. By the time MySpace realized exclusivity was more powerful than openness, Facebook had captured the most valuable demographics and built superior technology. Here's the forbidden principle: operate on scales your competitors don't monitor. If they measure success monthly, plan for years. If they focus on immediate revenue, build long-term customer value. If they compete for current markets, create markets that don't exist yet, but will replace current ones. For the next 60 days, identify what long-term capability you could build while competitors fight short-term battles. What infrastructure could you develop that would give you automatic advantage when market conditions change? You're not hiding from competition, you're building advantages they can't see until it's too late to catch up. This is the most psychologically brutal law from Sun Tzu's Forbidden Arsenal. It demands you become comfortable with appearing defeated while orchestrating your enemy's mental surrender. Complete victory doesn't require destroying your enemy. It requires making your enemy no longer want to fight you. When someone stops seeing you as a threat worth opposing, you've achieved more than victory. You've achieved invisibility. Watch how Google destroyed Microsoft's browser dominance without direct confrontation. In 2008, Internet Explorer controlled 70% of web browsing. Microsoft had integrated IE into Windows, established relationships with every major website, and spent billions on browser development. Instead of building a better browser, Google gave away Chrome for free, while quietly making websites work better on Chrome than Internet Explorer. They convinced web developers to optimize for Chrome by offering superior development tools and faster JavaScript engines. The psychological warfare. Google never attacked Internet Explorer directly. They made IE users gradually realize their browser was slower, less secure, and less compatible with modern websites. Microsoft felt like they were competing in browsers, while Google was actually controlling web standards. By the time Microsoft realized Chrome's strategy, web developers and users had already switched. Microsoft's strength operating system integration became irrelevant when websites themselves preferred Chrome. Here's another example: how Spotify destroyed music piracy by becoming better than free. In 2008, iTunes dominated legal music sales while BitTorrent dominated illegal downloads. Any streaming service would need to compete with both paid downloads and free piracy. Daniel Ek didn't fight piracy, he made it obsolete. Spotify offered everything pirates wanted, plus everything they couldn't provide. The psychological brilliance. Spotify made music pirates stop pirating, not through legal threats, but by offering superior user experience. Pirates chose to pay for Spotify because it was actually better than stealing music. Their victory became irrelevant because legal streaming was more convenient than illegal downloading. Here's the forbidden tactic. Make your opponent's victory irrelevant by giving them what they think they want in a way that eliminates their reason for fighting. If someone criticizes your approach, implement their suggestion in a way that makes you stronger. If a competitor tries to steal customers with better features, make those features standard across your industry. If someone attacks your weakness, fix the weakness publicly and thank them for the feedback. For the next 90 days, identify your most persistent opponent or critic. Instead of defending against their attacks, give them a version of what they claim to want. Make their victory feel hollow by incorporating their demands in ways that strengthen your position. You're not surrendering, you're making opposition pointless by eliminating rational reasons to oppose you. When you master these 4 laws, something extraordinary happens. You stop fighting and start orchestrating. You stop competing and start positioning. You stop trying to control people and start controlling the conditions that shape their choices. Your enemies exhaust themselves fighting battles you never participate in. Your competitors wear themselves out, chasing advantages you've already made irrelevant. Your opponents defeat themselves trying to attack a target that was never really there. But here's the deeper transformation. You begin to see conflict differently. Instead of viewing opposition as problems to overcome, you see them as information to exploit. Every attack reveals your enemy's assumptions. Every criticism exposes what they think your weaknesses are. The ultimate irony: the more invisible your power becomes, the more powerful you actually are. The less you need to fight, the more every small action creates massive results. This is the ultimate solution to conflict. You cannot eliminate opposition, but you can transform your relationship to it. By making natural forces your ally rather than enemy, you achieve what Sun Tzu called victory without victory triumph, so complete that no one realizes they've been defeated. Stop asking, "How do I beat this person?" It's the wrong question. For the next month, ask only this: how do I position myself so that victory becomes inevitable? These 4 laws aren't philosophy. They're the unspoken rules of histories, winners suppressed because they turn losers into gods. They reveal that true power is not about making others submit. It's about making submission irrelevant. You now possess the real art of war, not the seminar version, but the actual blueprint that intelligence agencies study in classified settings. The question is, will you keep fighting wars you can see? Or will you master the art of victories, so complete that your former enemies thank you for defeating them? If you made it this far, you're already different from 90% of people. Subscribe to join the few who understand that the greatest victories look like defeats until the moment they don't. And remember, the masters of these principles don't advertise them. They simply use them quietly. The fact that you're hearing this means you're either ready to join them or you're not ready to understand what you've just learned. Time will tell which category you belong to.